Wagwan people. Yeah, we're going to speak about the Teo, man, the path, so I can share a few jewels with you guys about bring some more clarity to how you actually craft out your God self without giving all the details, because it's more like me sharing my notes from my own studies. So it's not like me pertaining to know all this stuff that maybe other people don't know. This is me sharing my notes. Like this is, I write this down for my own, I practice it myself. It's not just for the live. Do you see what I'm saying? So I wanted to share it with you. So maybe it could help you guys when you're doing your meditation and shit. So the stuff I'm about to share with you is a lot of it is still fresh for me as well. So it's like I said, I'm not an expert on certain things. I use previous research, which makes me which makes it easier for me to digest this and interpret this and interchange different words. So maybe the listener could have a better clarity and have a better inner and understanding. So yeah, I wanted to share it with you guys because we speak a lot about archons, reptilians, Anunnakis, stuff that's not to do with ourselves, stuff that's kind of like outside of our control. So today I wanted to focus on the Teo, which is the path, which is, because you know I always say there's a difference between walking the path and just consuming information, you understand, or just watching videos and stuff. There's a difference when you're actually trying to activate yourself and bring out that astral God being. So I want to share a bit on that. So hopefully it could help you guys in the same way that it's helped me. I did a part one of this. As I said, it's on my Instagram, and I kind of considered, I was like, yo, if I just do this, are people going to really get it? Because no one on my YouTube really seen part one of this other than the people in my Telegram group who was on my Instagram and that. But for you guys who ain't seen that, I was thinking, yo, is this going to be a bit like go over the head? Because obviously they've missed that whole live, and it was an in-depth live on the NASAREAN Doctrine and stuff, like how it's not just in NASAREAN Doctrine, it's not just a male Christ. Everything is two, male and female. So when you talk about Jah, there's also Jala, and they had their firstborns, the firstborn son of Jah, who is Jadan, and the firstborn daughter of Jala, who is Jana. And you can interchange them with Anu and Antum and different deities and stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? But I gave a really good in-depth breakdown of this NASAREAN Doctrine. So if you haven't seen it and you do have Instagram, go and watch that live, because it will give you some more keys in regards to understand this live. But yeah, this live here, as I said, I wanted to speak upon things that are kind of like skipped over by us. We speak about all the spectacular shit, like gods and deities and angels and UFOs and all types of shit, CMEs, but we don't really spend as much time like going through them jewels that are going to help us to become better people. So I'm going to start for you. Oh, before I light my spliff, I'm going to do a different prayer today that I've took from the Nazarian Bible, and it goes like this. This is an invocation to our earthly mother Gaia, and it goes, earthly mother, my body is one with your body. I will walk softly on your flesh. I will defend you from the hand of the spoiler. I will be kind unto animals. I will not hunt. I will not eat animal flesh. I will help the earth become once again a garden paradise. O mother, I nurse at your breast. Amun. So that's the prayer I'm starting with today. But yeah, as you can see in the world now, everybody's so addicted to getting back to normal. There's a lot of collective brain fog going on. Like there's a haze, a brain fog going on. It's like a lot of people don't know whether they're coming, whether they're going, whether it's Monday, whether it's Tuesday. It's just like kind of, a lot of people are winging it, and they just kind of like going with no plan or no kind of strategy as how they're going to get the best out of themselves and preserve themselves through this madness. We know what caused that. We know what is the reason for why so many people are having this brain fog. There's more than one reason, but we know the ultimate reason of it, which is based off fear, yeah? Yeah. And we know that most of this chaos that we're seeing going on around And also because even though it's going on around us, there's also apathy going on around us. People who just don't seem to care. They don't seem to care about the many horrific revelations that are coming out about what these beings have done to keep their power on earth. They're not interested in trying to make our communities better. They're not interested in trying to re-educate ourselves away from this historical narrative we were given. There's a lot of people who are apathetic. They just don't care. And that's worse than not knowing. That's worse, yeah? Not knowing is one thing. I'm sure there was a time when you didn't know, just like there was a time there's things I didn't know. But not wanting to know, that's totally something else. That's different. So we're in that time now, and we know it's been programmed that way. It's not just that humans decided we're not interested in nothing. We've been made to be not interested in anything but our workspace, yeah? In the previous live, I was saying that get ready for the kill shot, because they crashed this economy. I'm going to get to the gist. I'm just giving you a foundation before I jump off into this NASAREAN. We know they're going to come with a kill shot, whether it's a stronger version of what they already unleashed on us, whether it's something totally new, yeah, whether it's something airborne. We all know they're going to get us ready for this kill shot, whether it's not none of that, whether it's just the fake alien invasion or whatever may be the case, yeah. But we know that they're getting ready to drop the big bag of bricks on top of our head, yeah. So we really need to be paying attention to this live, because it can give you that what's it called, Merkaba energy shield, that if you get into that vibration and envelop yourself in that energy, it's more than likely that you will be protected from the madness that's going on around here. We going shop. Hold on, this page is blowed, isn't it? Yeah, so the kill shot is coming, man. And now we're in an era of, you'll see the difference between talkers and doers. There'll be people out that tell you they're going to do something and it gets done. And there'll be people that never seem to get nothing done. They just consume. They just consume, even if it's information. They consume a whole lot of information, but there's no outward change in them. There's nothing to show the benefit of what they're taking in. That kind of person is a talker. You understand? And there's a lot of talkers that could mislead you. You could think, yo, this person knows what they're about. They're on this thing. They're down with the revolution. Well, really, they're not down with none of that crap there, Dan. You understand? They just like to talk about it to fit in with the crowd. They're more talkers. They'll talk about anything, but since this is the hot topic, Illuminati, Cabal, New Earth, all of that kind of stuff, a lot of people are bandwagoning that. They're not really, if we was talking about fashion, they would have a social media site up now spitting all that fashion stuff. Like, it's not the topic that they're naturally into or they know anything about. It's just the buzz. That's the buzz right now. Everybody want to be woke. Everyone wants to, like, have something to say. And all of this is contributing to the brain fog that we're seeing. So what I'm about to do now is to show you how to close all of that out, man. I'm gonna try and walk you through 24,000 plus miles of information. If we was walking, we would be walking 24,000 miles around the whole circumference of the earth, because we are walking through every doctrine and every school. Just like I'll sit here and break down the Egyptian doctrine and the words, the same I'm gonna do with this NASAREAN doctrine from time to time. So today, a lot of the words won't be the words that you're used to, like Anu and Antum. I gotta get you guys used to different school of thought, so you're not just stuck on one track. You understand? So you don't get confused when you don't see Anu and Anu. You might see Jat and Jala and think, hold on, and not know that that's the same. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to try and use as much as I can when I'm speaking about Islam, use Arabic terms and Arabic and stuff like that, Islamic stuff. When I speak about Hebrew doctrine, use Hebrew and Aramaic words, in the same way that when we're speaking about Kushite Egypt, we're using Cushitic and Nilotic and Nuwabic and Nuwapian language, yeah? I just want to say this as well. I'll repeat it. Walking the path is not the same as knowing the path. Everyone knows the path. We know it deep within ourselves. We know right and wrong, even without religion, even without laws, even without politics. We know it's something that's innate in us. Do you understand what I'm saying? But walking the path is a choice, is a commitment that you make to follow these principles and to keep these principles and these values, so that you can own your identity. Do you understand? And be accountable for all of your actions, okay? And that is built off, the motive for that must be love. You must have a conscious intent, yeah? And that and a motive, and that motive must be love. If your motive is love, you're gonna win. You're never gonna fail, yeah. And you have to be diligent. You have to use diligence. You have to use persistence, and you have to use loyalty, yeah, to develop a consistency when you're dealing with this. We'll call it the walk or the pilgrimage, yeah. So conscious intent and the right motive, which is the motive of love, yeah. And this motive, yeah, this intent, your intention must be to serve the first family. I'll break down who the first family is. That must be your intention from the jump off. You just want to please the first family and become one with the first family, yeah. And you do that by serving life and creation. You're protecting life around you. You protect justice, matter, balance, truth, justice, harmony around you. Do you understand? And you protect the earth from the hand of the spoiler. Anybody that wants to come and chop down trees or pollute the earth or mash up things, then we're the protectors of it. This is our mother. It's like if someone came in my house and wanted to attack your mother, the first thing you're going to do is fly up and jump on this, rock up this you or whoever it is. You understand? And it's the same way we should feel about all these corporations, politicians, royal families, bloodlines who are attacking. That's like somebody attacking our mom. And we just sitting down here moaning, yo, this guy came round the corner and punched my mum in the face and I just sat here. Like, why are we moaning? We supposed to be up, like, yo, you can't, we're not having this. You have to kill me, you understand, to get this done. And that's the stance that we as Meje, yeah, as warriors have to take when it comes to our earth, when it comes to our women, when it comes to our children, when it comes to our communities, when it comes to our values, our principles, our tradition, our history, our ancestors. I could go on and on. That's the stance we need to take, period, on everything. So people know, like in the days of Tahaka, yo, that guy there, Jadefre, don't mess with him, he'll chop off your blood clot head and then go and pray, to Anu. Like, we need to instill the fear that they've instilled in us, or the respect, whichever, yeah, that stops them from acting a certain way. The black man needs to take that up because we're acting like cowards right now, yeah. So yeah, when I say Teo, the word Teo is usually associated with Taoism, which is a Far Eastern philosophy, like you're dealing with Buddhism and Zenism and all of that kind of stuff, Zoroastrianism. It's a Far Eastern philosophy, Taoism. And the word Teo in itself just means the way or the path. Like we said, we're going to call this the walk, where walking the path and talking the path is two different things. So even the Taoists knew this. The Taoists, the Teo, they said, yo, it's the path. It's a means, a set of practices that you commit to produce a certain end. So there's a means and an end. Like I said, we should all be a part of something which involves a process. So we have to commit to it. So we have to set a goal, and we're trying to achieve that goal, like a gym, simple. Gym, you set goals, you achieve your goals. It's a process. It's not a click of the finger thing. We all need at least one process in our life away from work, yeah, that we're committed to this process. Whether it's exercising every week and you go for walks or bike rides, whether it's gym, whether it's rock climbing, whatever it is, we all need that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Taoism is the process of, you could say, making yourself better. And Taoism, yeah, also is bleeds into Zenism and Buddhism and Sufism, because the word Tao, T-A-O, the way, or some people translate it as the path or the way. That word Tao in Far Eastern philosophy actually comes from the Egyptian word Taruk, yeah, which crossed over into Aramaic and Hebrew, Aramaic, Hebrew and Arabic, and became Tarak or Tariq, yeah, which means the path, like my brother's Islamic name, Tariq, the path. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you're saying Teo, you're talking about a path that leads to something, that leads somewhere. Now, even though they don't tell you this in standard Taoism, the path that they're talking about is you walking along the path of your Kundalini, or let's say the 7 chakras, and we're going to unpack that, yeah? Because to open the 7 seals, one must learn, study, and practice the words of power. And a lot of us as black people, we don't study the words of power. We locked into English. So we're trying to find God saying English words, like vibrating on some weak tone. You understand? We don't want to understand why certain scriptures were written in certain languages because of the vibratory power of certain languages. Like certain words that the Nazareans use and stuff is not even Hebrew words. It's cherubim words. These are words from the Anunnaki that carry a total different vibratory frequency than the words we're using down here. And this links back to the Babel incident where they stopped us from using that language because we had a magical language before we were speaking all this crap down here, what we call in English and Arabic and Semitic languages, Asturic, Galilean, Demotic, Ugaritic, Latin, Sanskrit, all these. We think that these languages are complex now, but these languages are dull in comparison to what we had before the Babel incident, yeah? So to open the 7 seals, one must learn and study and practice the words of power. Once the seal is open, like when you open your chakras, it doesn't mean just because your chakra is open, you've got access to the power of that chakra. Once you open the chakra, you still have to eat the fruit from the tree of life. And that's hard, most of us don't. We open the chakra and get some benefit, but we don't go all the way and eat the fruit because each chakra has a fruit, yeah? And that fruit should be eaten, and once eaten, it should be shared. Meaning you can't give it to someone, but you can give them the tools like I'm giving you now, so that they could realize that fruit for themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? So as I said, this is not easy, and this links back to the last live I did about this NASAREAN doctrine, where we was talking about the tree of life in the garden and how that tree of life connects every being, yeah, in the cosmos. Every being in the cosmos is connected in the center, yeah, of that tree. In the center of that tree, the trunk, yeah, is kind of like the root in every being. So every being is connected through this tree. And this one branch, yeah, comes from the Most High, Jah and Jalla, in the heavens, down to the Mother Ovum, and down into our realm, into every world, so that we're all connected in the center. That's why it's so powerful when you hear people saying, yo, stay in your center, find your center. Because our job is to find the center of that tree, yeah, and find that tree inside yourself, yeah. And that one branch that comes from the Most High, which is the middle branch or the trunk, from that comes 6 more branches, 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. So you have 7 branches. That's your 7 chakras, or your Kabbalistic tree of life that you see these Kabbalistic Hebrews having with their tree of life drawing and stuff, yeah. So the 7 branches represent your 7 chakra, and there's also 7 roots. So each branch has its own root, and there's a point where the branch and the root meet, and where that branch and the root meet, you call it a chakra. Do you see where I'm going with this? So that's your chakras. That's what your chakra system is linked into this tree. Let me drink this tea before it gets cold. I'm on my Englishman thing. Yeah. So each branch, yeah, and root connect at a certain point, yeah, and where they connect, it makes that whirlwind or that cosmic wheel of spinning light. I'll give you the Hebrew name for it in a minute, but I'm just following the notes so I don't just repeat myself, yeah. So as I said, where the branch and the tree root, that's your where the branch and the root meet, that's your chakra, yeah. And each chakra, each branch and each branch and fruit combination, each branch and root combination produce a fruit. So let's say the 7th branch and the 7th root, there's a fruit for that. You understand? And then the 6th branch and the 6th root, that produces a fruit. And the 5th and the 5th, that all the way down, there's 7 fruits. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the fruit is always found within yourself. The fruit within you, if you can find that, that has the power to heal all nations. Yeah? And then once you do that and you find your center and you align with the correct vibration of every branch, yeah, you become the king of the 7 kingdoms inside of you, or you become the queen of the 7 kingdoms. That's land. That's a whole empire, lands and shit inside of you. So you become what you would call a supreme being, yeah, or an Elo, yeah. And when you reach that place is when you will truly bow and expose your crown to the Most High, because it's only those who bow their head the lowest and expose the crown to the Most High Anu are the ones that are raised the highest and given the crown of light, yeah, and given the crown of humility, yeah, which is also the crown of royalty, yeah. So when I say Teo, this is what I'm giving you. It's Nazarian doctrine. but it's my take. This is my tale. I write a tale for myself. So I follow a certain code in my life for me to be Jedefre Memnon. So I take stuff that benefits me. Some of it comes from NASAREAN Doctrine, which is a Israelite thing where I tell people, like in the Golden Child, yeah, I consider myself a Israelite. But I'm not conventional like these Hebrews. I'm not a Hebrew. I'm a NASAREAN. And for you to understand that, you're going to have to read NASAREAN Bibles and study NASAREAN Doctrine to get a gist of where we're coming from. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not your conventional Hebraic, Mosaic stuff. To us, that's distorted. They took from the original teachings and distorted it into what today you're calling Hebraic teachings or Mosaic doctrine. That's nothing to do with us. We following the Essenes, yeah? The same Essenes that they dug up shit in 1947 and found all them Dead Sea Scrolls. That's us, not these people running around today with this Judaism thing. Yeah, so those who bow will receive the crown of life. Now, this tale of the Dragunslayer, as I said, my intention is union with the all. My ultimate goal is that one day I will reach the ultimate union with the all and get to play with the first family again. Yeah. So this is called Yahud chain, which means union with the tree of life. Yeah. And Yahud or Yihud in Hebrew Aramaic is the same word as yoga in Sanskrit. Yoga means union. It don't mean bending yourself up. I know you see that people putting their leg behind their head and all that shit. You probably think that the word yoga means something to do with bending up yourself and stuff. Yoga just means union, because ultimately all that was done as the means to achieve the end, which is union with the all. So that's the same as when I say Yifud et Chayim, which means union with the tree of life. The Yifud and the yoga is the same thing. This is a NASAREAN form of yoga, which involves its own set of practices, okay? So it's both an end and a means. The end is the goal, union with the all. The means is the practices that you're going to employ in yourself to achieve this goal, this union with the all, yeah? And the means are the practices that the Nazarian employs progressively, yeah, to achieve this goal. So every day you're trying to progress, you're trying to be better than yourself yesterday, meaning you're trying to be closer to this source energy today than you was yesterday. You're not in competition with nobody else. You're not in competition with work colleagues. You're not in competition with family. You're not in competition with friends. You're not in competition with enemies. You're not in competition with no one. Your only competition is yourself, yeah? Yesterday, yeah? And so how can you be better than you was yesterday, yeah? That's how you have to be progressing on this doctrine, yeah? To achieve your goal, which is union with the all, which is aligning with your center, finding that tree of life in yourself, yeah, and vibrating on the correct frequency so you align with all 7 branches, yeah, and all 7 roots, yeah. Because remember, the center branches from the Most High, and it descends from the heights of the heavens and pierces down to this world where we are now, yeah. And hold on, yeah. So this branch, this center of the tree, is like the spine or the jed pillar, yeah, or we can call it the trunk. That's straight from the Most High, and that's why the Most High is always with us, because the Most High's presence is right there in the center of the tree. And when I say the Most High, I mean the Lady and Lord Most High. You understand? Both Anu and Antum, or Jah and Jalla, yeah. Not no religious thing where it's just a man. No man can't make life on himself. What the hell is going on there? Is our advert? So yeah, all other branches stem from the middle branch or the trunk in the middle. Like I said, there's 3 on one side, yeah, and there's three branches, or a trinity or a triad on one side of branches, and there's, let me turn this off. I swear this thing's supposed to be 3 hours, this sound, and every time I put it on, it comes off quick. So what's going on with this? Let me put it back on, yeah? In fact, I'll just leave it off. So yeah, we've got a triad on this side of the trunk, and we've got a triad on this side of the trunk. We're now getting to the fruits of the tree of life, yeah? So on one side, yeah, you have Haba, which is love in Aramaic Hebrew, yeah? So you have one, love, Ahaba. And then you have 2, wisdom, which is chokmah, yeah, or hakum in Egyptian, but we're dealing with Hebrew words, so chokmah, wisdom, yeah. And then 3, we have power, which is kowak. So on one side you have love, wisdom, power, yeah. And then on the other side you have eternal life, which is chaish olam. Then you have holy work, which is ma'ash kodesh, yeah. Kodesh means peace, or gadush in Kemetian, yeah. And then you have 6, peace, shalom, or hotep, or assalam. You understand? Peace. So you have on the other side holy work, which you keep hearing us say. We put it in our books and that when we say continue to do the great work of the ages. This is the holy work we're speaking about, which is the work you do in union with the first family, which means God and Goddess transcendent, that's outside of our realm, and God and Goddess imminent, the gods and goddesses that appear inside our realm, ancestral sky family. Do you understand? We must always be trying to make a union with them. Yeah, that's the holy work. Yeah, and all of these, each one of these 6 that I gave you, love, wisdom, power, eternal life, holy work, peace, all of them is an attribute of the Most High, the Mother, Father, Creator. Yeah, and each of them attributes can be found within you, each one of us, and it can also be found around you for inspiration. You are the universe, yeah? So that means wherever you're standing right now, that's the center of the universe, like we said in the theory of everything. Like, if I'm sitting here, this where I'm sitting right now is the center of the universe. Why do I say that? Because nothing exists except me. That sounds egotistical, right? But listen to this then. If I said nothing exists but you, yeah? You are hearing me right now inside your head. The sound that's coming out of this phone and you're listening to is interpreted inside your head, not outside, yeah? What you're looking at on your screen, you interpret that image inside your head. It goes inside your head upside down, and then your brain flips it around and interprets all the signals and gives you an image. So all of that's going on inside your head. That's not going on outside your head. So really there's nothing that goes on outside of your head. Everything that you smell, see, taste, hear, feel goes on inside of you. So therefore, that can only mean, hold on, outside don't exist. Now how come it's not happening outside of you? There's no outside of you. Outside of you is you. You understand where I'm going? Yeah. So you, when you stand, you are the center of the universe. Do you understand? Everything else is a perception of you. So I'm a perception of you. Or I'm an extension, to use a better word, of you. You're an extension of me. All is. That's it. Nothing else exists. All of this is an illusion. And in order to get back to that source, you have to cut through all of this illusion. This world is a charade. It's fleeting. And you have to not get caught up in it and pulled away with the current. Say, okay, I can see that all of this forms and stuff. This is an illusion. You understand? So the center of the tree is the center of you. The center of yourself is the center of the tree. Stay in your center. Also, how I gave you them 6 principles, the 3 on one side and the 3 on the other side, they also, on the next level, also mean different things. Like 1 is sun, 2 is water, 3 is air on one side. Sun, water, air. And then on the other side, you got soil, life, joy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So on every level, these things change. The perception changes. You understand? There's degrees, there's levels to it. Yeah? And so with each one of them, 6 things that I told you about, that will lead you to the 7 words of power, which is the words of union. Union being union with the all, or the tree of life. Yeah? And then, as I said in the other life, once you reach that stage, you're no longer human. See, they lied to you. You're not just a human with 5 senses. You can transcend this realm. You can burst this ovum and go back to the mother ovum, and even burst the mother ovum and go back to heaven and interact with Jah and Jala and Jadan and Jana. And when I say interact, play, you learn how powerful we are as Etherians, and how we were meant to be created using 100% of the brain, not no 10% or 7%. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or 15%, and we think, yo, this guy's a genius, Einstein. Nigga only using 15% of his brain. You understand what I'm saying? each branch is written, on each branch is written the words of power. Yeah, the 7 words of power, words of union. Yeah, but them words are only given to the initiates. Like there's certain other words of power other than the 7 words of power. You understand? But the 7 words of power is only given to initiates. Other words of power, other mantra, anyone can say them. But the one here is for those who are baptized in the NASAREAN doctrine as to why they have access to these kind of materials, yeah? Also, the NASAREAN doctrine teaches you how important the joy of play is. They use the term play when you become that ultimate ascended master, because they say you will play with the first family, you will interact with them. And it teaches you that the joy of play, humor, living, laughing, being, choosing to be happy is just as important as your exercise, as you having a healthy alkaline diet. Do you understand? As you getting fresh air, that you having joy and humor and knowing how to laugh at yourself and knowing how to lighten the mood and lighten people's hearts and spread around merriment and stuff. That shit there is important if you want to be somebody who can help assist other people. Because when you look around you, it's all depression, it's all seriousness, it's all anxiety, it's all panic. Most of you know, most of the time I speak to you guys, I will always crack jokes because what we're speaking about is heavy. Do you understand? And sometimes you got to try and like dampen the blow for people to make it not all, oh, doom and gloom, oh, this is too scary, mate. You get me? You got to know how to use humor and stuff. There's even certain Buddhist masters, they used to call him, I can't remember what his name is, they used to call him the laughing Buddhist because he used to use so much humor and laughter in his teachings, people used to flock to him. I know Malachi York did that. He's one of the most funniest geezers when you hear him speak. It's like you will crack up. Yeah, so the joy of play, humor, living, laughing, being happy by choice, without reason. You don't need an external reason to be happy. Happiness is a choice that you choose just because, yo, I woke up today, I'm healthy, there's people who can't walk, there's people who took the ting, there's people who are having this, there's this going on, I'm happy, I choose to be happy just because I'm blessed. So I'm going to try and keep my spirit up and be happy and make my heart light and make people smile and make people want to laugh. You're right, brother. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. And you understand what I'm saying? You want to be a magnetic person. You don't want to be one of them doom and gloomers, man. This is a necessary skill as a Nasarian. Yeah, and as I said, remember, happiness is a choice. It's not no destination where I'll be happy when, or I'll be happy if, when I get this job, when I get that car, or if I only had this woman, or if I only had, or if my missus never left me, or rare. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't have emotions and you can't process your emotions. You understand? But you have to ultimately be in control of all of that shit there. That shit must come from in. The joy must come from in. What's it called again? Simcha. S-I-M-C-H-A-H. Simcha. That's a Hebrew word that means joy. And the type of joy we're talking about is like a euphoric joy. I'll explain it to you, yeah? Simcha, it's the joy, it's a bliss, it's a euphoric feeling that you get once you find the center of that tree or the center of yourself and you vibrate on the right frequency with all of the branches. It's like the joy of being, like that euphoria. Like I'd like to think that if you've ever read Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, when he tells you about his awakening moment that made him who he is, where he just had that moment, man, that euphoria, like trees was beautiful, the cloud, he ain't never seen these clouds before. It's like it's the first time he's ever seen clouds, because now he's looking at everything with real eyes. He's gone into that euphoria moment. Do you see what I'm saying? The joy of just being. That alone, you don't need nothing else to be happy. It's like a drug, yeah? And that depends on the degree of harmony that you are in with each branch and its roots, as to how much you can access that feeling of euphoria. Some of us may be able to access it more than others because we've done more of the work to reach a closer vibration to these branches and roots than others have. You might say, yo, this guy is always happy, man. Stuff's always working out for him. Understand? Like, yo. So when centered, vibrating in harmony with all 7 branches, yeah, you become bliss. Yeah, you become a being of power. Yeah. So all of this is what I call the fruit of full body enlightenment, or I should say is what Nazarian doctrine calls the fruit of full body enlightenment. Because all of us are a little enlightened. You're born enlightened. That's what the Buddhists will tell you. Enlightenment is when you realize, hold on, I was always enlightened. It's not something I was supposed to be seeking. I was supposed to just peel back layers and realize, hold on, I'm already enlightened here. So it's the same kind of thing I'm getting at here. Do you see what I'm saying? Full body enlightenment. Each branch and root has its own words of power or sound of power or words of union, and that just means its own mantra. Like we use the word in modern words, mantra. Words of power is a mantra. So each branch has its own mantra. Each root has its own mantra. Each seal, your chakra, has its own words. It's inscribed with the names of the Most High, or the words of the Most High. You understand, which is Ja and Jala. Yeah, and you have to be on a certain level to be able to chant and read these words. And that's why it's so important for us to be studying, yeah, and practicing. It doesn't make sense saying, oh, making excuses for not reading and stuff, because study without practice is useless. And practice without study is useless. You just become lost. Yeah. So as I said, only baptized Nazarians are given certain special mantras, though other mantras can be recited by anyone. Yeah. You have like public mantras for everyone, and then you have special mantras for initiates who are trying to perfect their being. It's more than just chatting about believing in Jesus or religion and stuff. For us, it's a whole alchemy. It's a whole transmigration of the soul, man, that they dumb down into these religions that they're giving us today, and God's arguing about some hippie. And also, Nazarian astrology is not like this Western astrology with this Greek zodiac and stuff. Nazarian astrology, just like Kemetian and Sumerian and Olmec and Mayan and stuff, is more in line with Hindu, Dravidian stuff in the Indus Valley, where they give you, and the Buddhists, where they speak about the Dharma, which is the karmic wheel, which is their own zodiac, but it's tied into karma. You understand what I'm saying? And that karma, yeah, it's like the karmic and astrological aspects of your past, present, and future incarnations. So it involves all of that. You understand, where they kind of stripped that out of Western astrology and just left the shell for us, kind of thing. You mind going? Yeah. Namaste, yeah? Yeah. Walaikum salam. Namaste. Tell T salam, yeah? Oi, tell him I still got the bag with the things here and the tin. You man drove off the other day.
Did you say that? She said that. They didn't say that you bring them tomorrow in the south.
I didn't say tomorrow, I just said I'm going to bring them. I was going to the back, innit? So I came out here like, oh, what did? Man, I'm gone. You get me? But tell him I've got them. So tell him whatever, whenever he wants them, I got them, yeah? Sorry, guys. My nephews. See, they do homeschooling, like I told you, with my mum. So that was just one of their classes done. They do not go to school. School is bullshit. They go to my mum, and my brother pays my mum to teach them. So she teaches them from treasures in the sand, all types of stuff. I think they've got their own, because my mum does maths, history, English, like they do Shakespeare and all types of stuff, man, because we have to take our children's education into our own hands. I'm praying that my baby mum goes for this as well, but it may be too late, because my youths now are like, what, because she's 12, Akasha's 15, might not make sense now, but a lot of us should be going down that route, especially even with Zayn. Yeah, so where was I? Shit, man. Okay. Yeah, so that's the fruit of the full body enlightenment. Yeah, these are the fruits of the tree of life that we're speaking about here. And as I said, the real astrology involves karma, the karma of your past lives, what you got up to in your past incarnations, because this ain't the first time you've been a being. You've probably been to 6, 7, maybe 17, maybe 60 different worlds before you came here. And every one of them experiences that you have determine who you are here. You carry your karma for certain things. So that karma follows you throughout different incarnations. You see what I'm saying? So in East Indian Hindu doctrine, They call this the Dharma, and that spilled over into Buddhism too, because you know that Buddha was an Indian. Yeah, so it spilled over into Buddhism too, where it tied Buddhism and kind of Hinduism's kind of tied. Yeah, yeah, and as I said, as beings within the mother ovum, we are 1 billion, 8 million unified consciousnesses. Where I wish I would have been able to do that first live on here, where we explained the origin of Jah and Jala and the firstborn son without sex, Jadan, and the firstborn daughter without sex, Jala, and we broke it down so certain things might not, you might have gaps, you understand? But anyway, I'm just going to go on. Yeah, I wanted to say, we exist eternally as the 1 billion, 8 million. We've existed. You can't put a number on it, yeah? And I want to say, there's angels for different things. Like, let's say, the angel of joy, Hafa. If I go to a dance and I start, hear a reggae beat, and I start, getting into this beat, yeah? I'm playing with the angel of joy. Like, I'm interacting with the angel of joy. Because that's her thing. Love, music, happiness, food, merriment, celebration. So if I enact in any of them things, I'm in communion with that angel. Do you see what I'm saying? So even the Dharma, the karmic wheel of life, has an angel of the karmic wheel of life. And it's a she, yeah, just like Hafa. It's not a he. Like religion likes to make everything a he, yeah. This is a she. And she helps us to progress on the karmic wheel, to progress into our highest self. And how she does that is by making us realize our own karma that we're carrying with us through all these incarnations, where we have to turn on ourselves and say, boy, I'm in my own way, or I shouldn't have did this, and you start straightening yourself out and you start pulling yourself up. You start doing the shadow work and stuff. Her job is to help us. She helps us to understand and untangle all this karma, to perceive it. Do you see what I'm saying? All this media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, scrolling, music industry, it's designed to distract us from all this shit that I'm trying to get through to you. It's designed to make us have no time to do this here, what we're doing, this beautiful dialogue, what we're having here. Yeah? So she helps us with that. Now, the first family is what I said. I'm going to try and break it down here in a way for the people who didn't get that first live on Instagram to understand it. The first Anu, or Jah, and yes, it is Yah, but as Nazarians, we came up with the word Jah. That's how we pronounced it, even though there weren't no J in Hebrew. For us, we pronounced it Jah. And so when you hear Rastas saying Jah Jah and I, we kept jewels, yeah? We kept jewels. Each school kept jewels. We kept them jewels. They say Jah Jah because they always remembered, hold on, it's not just a man, it's Jah and Jala. So Jah Jah, or I. Do you understand what I'm saying? We kept that. So first you have God and Goddess transcendent, which means they're outside of this physical creation. They're not inside of this physical creation. That's your Jah and your Jala, yeah? They're what you call God and Goddess transcendent, outside of the mother ovum, in the heavenly abode, yeah? And then inside of this realm, you have the Lord Christ and the Lady Christ, as to why we get caught up with this word Christ, which comes from Christos, which comes from Krishna, which comes from Krasa Mesa, all the way back to Kushite, Egypt, yeah? So you have the Lady Christ and the Lord Christ. Now the Lord Christ is the firstborn son of Jah, no sex involved. I'm speeding this up because I won't have time to go through all of it. Y'all gonna have to find a way to catch that other live, yeah? That's the firstborn son of Jah in his own image and likeness, yeah? And his name is Jadan. You understand what I'm saying? And then the Jala, the opposite of Jah, yeah? She birthed her firstborn daughter without sex, whose name is Jana. Do you understand? And then them two holy children, yeah, came together in the union, sex, and created the whirlwind, or what we call it yin-yang energy, and created sacred geometry and all of that stuff there. We're talking from the spiritual realm before we come into the realm of matter and stuff, yeah? So this family became known as the first family, which became the All family when you hear us say Bar Kolom and the All. And I am unified with the first family. You should seek to be unified with the first family, as to why you can have access to certain records that other people don't have. and certain abilities to get certain things done that other people don't have. Yeah, but they're the first family that starts as one and becomes two and comes back to one. Or that's the first family that expands to become the all family. Yeah, the one that multiplies from itself and comes back to the one, or allness. And the name that is used to signify that in Hebrew is HaShem, which means the name of names, because you can't really, there's no word you can call God. You can't give God a name. Any name you give him, you've limited it in. And look, I'm still saying him, yeah, because of how we've been programmed. Or any, so let me rephrase. You can't give the Most High, Jah and Jalla, a name, yeah, because you're going to limit them, yeah, them, not him, the male and the female aspect, which is both needed for life, okay? So that's the first family, yeah, and the firstborn children, the Lord and the Lady Christ, they come into every world as one of the hands of mercy for when things are going wrong. There's always a Messiah or a Christ that will come to show people, yo, this is the way out, you know, because that over there is some bullshit. And we've all seen we can see that the evidence of that is left. We can just look around and see. You don't have to believe Jedi. You can just look around and say, you know what, that makes sense. Yeah, it's logical. You don't need you to believe it. You don't need you to ignore certain other logics to accept that. It's evident. It's beyond the shadow of a doubt for the wise person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the first family. And like I said, all this what I'm talking about here involves sincere effort, man. It's easy to just ignore all this and just live your life like one of these robots, just living in on this hamster wheel, in this matrix. This is hard, man, to commit yourself to this and to follow it through and to stick with it. It's hard, man. This is not for the weak-minded, yeah? So the place where the roots, the 7 roots, meet, the 7 branches, is your chakras, to remind you. And that's why we must do this work. Yeah, because each one of your chakras has that whirlwind energy of the Lord and Lady Christ going on within it. So as to why you can become your own Lord and Lady Christ, because the Lord and Lady Christ, manifest in us as well. So we become our own saviors. They come as examples to show us, yo, this is what you need to do. And this is how you do it. We're not supposed to just bow down and pray to them and worship and go on like how these religions go on. Yeah. And this whirling circle in Hebrew, the word for whirling circle is Ofan Hagalgal. That means whirling circle. But it's called in a word, in the religious sense, in Aramaic Hebrew, it's called Sephiroth or Sephiroth. S-E-F-I-R-O-T. Sephiroth. So when you see that on the Kabbalistic tree of life, you remember what we was talking about on this live. You understand? And that whirling energy is the same yin-yang energy or hu-he energy they spoke about in Egypt, what we know now as centripetal and centrifugal forces, or divine masculine and, sacred masculine and divine feminine, which you need both them forces in physical creation, positive and negative charge. Not in the sense of evil, but in the sense of electricity. You need a positive and negative charge to make your fridge work or your TV work. You need that same yin-yang energy for anything, for it to have that That's why any electrical appliance, you can hear the You can hear, whether you want to call it a hum or a that's the sound, because that's life. It needs both charges. Centripetal, which is pushing, masculine, yeah, penetrative, forceful, yeah, and centrifugal, which is pulling, feminine, pulling, grounding, pulling in. You understand what I'm saying? You need both. Where am I? So that's the whirling energy, yeah? And as I said, each one of these chakras or centers, divine centers, they're energy centers, yeah? Are encoded with numbers and letters, sacred codes, coded numbers and letters, yeah? So when you're dealing with your pineal activation, yeah, them codes will become more clear when you open the Golden Temple. You will start learning how to read them when you start doing your linguistic studies and studying the Semitic and the ancient languages, going back to your Akkadian and your Sumerian, yeah? And what was I going to say? Yeah, make note that a lot of us will have blockages, whether it's in our heart chakra, because of relationships or how we was treated growing up by certain families, parents, uncles, whatever. Yeah, some of us will have blockages in our heart chakras and have issues with trust and stuff. Some of us will have blockages in our throat chakra, We don't know how to speak our truth. We're scared to speak our truth. Yo, there's all kind of blockages going on in people. So first, we have to figure out if we have any blockages. And if you be honest with yourself, it's quite easy to know. If you sit with yourself for half an hour and say, hold on, let me think about all my chakras, and if I got any blockages, you'll see them. You'll stare at them. I had blockages in my heart chakra, throat chakra, all over the joint, third eye chakra. Yo, and it's, as I said, it's not easy, but you have to commit to opening them, because they're like lotuses, they close. Yeah. And then when you treat them right and vibrate right, they open, man. And once they're open, there's so many treasures in this tree trunk, in this center. If you go and mine them treasures, and all them treasures, as I said, are inscribed with the words of the Most High, because them treasures belong to the Most High, Jah and Jalla. They don't belong to me or you. So we need to find these fruits, and then we need to share them. Find your gifts and share them. You understand? If you can share them for free, share them for free. They're energy channels, yeah? On the path. This is a path that leads you back up to your crown, so you can be crowned with the crown of life. All that other stuff they're telling you, this hippie shit out there, is bullshit. Yeah. So the center branch, that's where the river of light from Jah and Jalla comes down straight into you. That's why when you read the Quran, Allah says, Allah, I'm closer to you than your jugular vein. And if you ask most Muslims, they can't interpret this verse. I'm like, what does Allah mean by this? So how come he's closer than my jugular vein? Explain it to me. They just give you some fairy tale thing. But what I'm giving you here is why, because that center, that branch is right inside of you. So Allah or Anu or Amun, whatever name you want to put on it, Ahura, Mazda, God, Christos, yo, he's closer to you, he, she is closer to you than your own jugular vein. They're your thought before you think. You understand? They're your thought before you speak. They're the words before you speak it. It's a mad thing. Yeah. So the 7 seals of the treasure box. See this chakra system as a treasure box. Like if I handed you a great big treasure box and said, yo, open that and find yourself, pick something, choose something. That's how you're supposed to treat your chakras. Like, yo, what am I going to find today? Let me try and like find the treasure in here, the treasure of the Most High, man. Because that's power. Upon each seal is the signet of Jaja, yeah? All treasure is theirs, and it's to be shared. Find these gifts, and by becoming worthy, then you must share them, yeah? These fruits of the tree of life, yeah? I want to say as well, there's a lot of ancestor and spirit worship going on among black people. They think it's by just saying, oh, ancestors, that they worship. You're not supposed to replace the Most High with the word ancestors or spirits. That's bullshit, yeah? And don't be misleaded by a lot of these snake oil sellers out here trying to get you involved in all kind of shaggery, like everything that came from us is good, because a lot of it was ignorance too. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, learn the names. Like I'm giving you here names. Go and call on these names and you'll see the effect. Yeah, Jah and Jalla, or Ya and Yalla, or Anu and Antum, or Amun and Amunet, yeah? Call on these names. These are our deeds. They look like us. They don't look like the hippie or Buddha. They look like me and you. I'd rather trust them than some hippie seeing what's going on in the world. Yes, I'm going to give you the prayer of reverence, yeah? This prayer of reverence, I'm going to give it to you. So if you go back to this live, you get a pen and write it down and recite it in your day with your all prayer. Some point of the day, remember I advise you guys to do your all prayer, your affirmation 3 times a day, whether you do it in English or Nuwabi. If you're sincere, it will be heard. It's the same with this. You only 1 time a day, yeah? Do this on the back of your all prayer and witness the change in your paradigm. When you come out your front door every day, witness how the whole shit's changed. Because you're the center of this whole universe. Never mind this world. It's just an extension of you. Right, here we go. So this is the prayer of reverence, not worshipping some dead religious worship. Reverence, being grateful for the sun, the warmth, the Mother Earth. Yeah, being grateful for family, being grateful for friendship, being grateful for the Most High and the Lord and the Lady Christ. Let me sing this to you in the sun. Barkulum, the prayer of reverence. On the NASAREAN path of the unseen way, I walk in reverence through the eternal and infinite garden of Yahweh. Yah, the male, Jah, and Wei, Jala, yeah? Each day, like the first day, I enter the eternal and infinite garden with reverence to God and Goddess transcendent, Jah and Jala, with reverence to God and Goddess immanent, Jadan and Jana, with reverence to the angelic beings that serve God and Goddess within the mother ovum, with reverence to Abraham, the real one, and Sa'ada, who served the Lord and Lady as the high priest and high priestess of the seventh heaven of this world, with reverence to the cherubim of El Kush that serve the tree of life in this world, with reverence to the motherly soul who serves as earthly mother in this world, with reverence to the great masters of the NASAREAN path of the Essene way, with reverence to the holy, pure, and saving teachings, with reverence to the body of Christ, which is the church of Lord Christ and Lady Christ, with reverence to all, for all are children of Elohim. Amen. So I want you to write that down and learn it and practice repeating that at some point in your day. Do you understand? Because that's a powerful, I've given you one of the sounds of power. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you which one because like I said, it's for initiates. So if you notice, I've not really given you none of the words of power, but I'll admit that to you. I've given you one of the sounds of power right there. So use that wisely and use it a lot, especially for what you see going around you. Yeah, become familiar with that. Yeah. So what I've just taught you from is just from one little small aspect of the NASAREAN doctrine, which is to do with the 7 sounds of ecstasy, yeah, and even though I didn't give you them, yeah, and the mating of the branches and the roots. So the 7 branches of the tree and the roots of the tree, the mating of them, yeah. Them 7 sounds of power is not the same as the 14 sounds of power of the branches and roots for anybody who may be familiar with the doctrine. Like there are other sounds of power other than the 7 sounds of power, but what the ones I gave you was the teachings that I gave you was from the 7 sounds of ecstasy. Is from that. Yeah. The meeting of each branch with its corresponding root at a certain spot, I told you already, that's your chakra. So also why I've not given you these sounds is because everything it's the age of information now, so everything is free. There's no hidden nothing. But why I'm not giving you these sounds on these lives is because certain people who are not initiates, if they was to pronounce them sounds, it will harm them, yeah, or it would certain things would depart from them. So rather than just put it out for any reckless person, you know how much trolls are out here and stuff, and they play around with something that can get their ass killed. I won't put it out there. You have to be in the Telegram forum and you have to inquire of me for it, because even people in the Telegram forum are lazy mentally a lot of the time, and they don't inquire and they don't study. Some of them do, some of them don't. So if this information is something that you want to progress with, then you have to inquire about it. Yeah, so if you was to give certain of these sounds of power, words of power to the wrong person, more time it would just depart. The power of it would just depart from them. It won't work. Yeah, on certain occasions it might harm them. Yeah, but more time it would just depart from them. Yeah. So if you're in a situation where you're surrounded by people who are not initiates, you can say them sounds of power in your mind silently, and that's enough. You don't have to verbalize them. You see what I'm saying? You can say it in your mind, and that will be enough vibration and enough charge, just like you said it out loud. But these things are sacred to us, so we protect them like anything sacred would be protected. As I said, all of this, even the sounds of power, is not earth language. It's the sounds of the cherubim. Cherubim mean those closest to El, the Most High. They guard the throne of the Most High. They speak their own language. So before the Tower of Babel incident, humans used to speak this language. Enki used to teach us this language where we could just speak things into existence. We still can now, to a certain degree, with English and the languages of Earth. But we used to do it on such a profound basis with this magical, alchemical cherubim language, that when man started abusing this language and siding with these disagreeable Nephilim and that, it got decided that, yo, we're licking down that tower. They ain't teach it because it was more like a university. They're not learning this word magic and having this language no more. Go down there and confuse them. and confound them. This is Genesis 10:6 to 8. It starts around there and goes into Genesis 12 and stuff. But if you start from Genesis 10:6 with the story of Nimrod, then it goes into Tower of Babel, which is the same word as Babel, confusion. And the God saying, yo, go down there. So he's in a group. He's speaking to another God. You go down there and confound them man there, confuse them. So go down there and confound their language. And from that time, you had all these different dialects come on earth. You had, it started with Akkadian. Yeah, that was the first dialect from this God language, this Sumerian God language, Akkadian. And then so Akkadian is the mother language of all Semitic languages, whether you're talking Arabic, Aramaic, Ashuric, Galilean, all of them shits there. Yeah, Syretic, yeah, Hebrew, all of that shit there is considered Semitic. Yeah, so that comes from the breakdown or the confusion. So when you read in the Bible in your Hebrew, normal Hebrew, or you read in your Quran in Arabic, or you read in these Latin Bibles and English, but you're just reading confusion. It tells you, it's telling you right there in the own book, yo, go and confuse these, man. Now you got Babel or Bible. Oh yeah, Babel. It's a Bible, it's Babel. You understand? You have to go through all this bullshit to find the little bits of truth. When there's other texts out there, after you get through doing that, you're like, hold on, we already had this shit. Oh, you throw this away. But first you have to dissect it. You have to go and, you understand, find these little gems. And once you found them gems, that book becomes irrelevant. It's only relevant for when you're speaking to other people, because people, that's the universal standard for God. God understanding. You speak in Bible, everyone knows what you're saying, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Jew, whether they're Hindu. You know what I mean? It's like religion for dummies. All right, let me finish this because I ain't got much left. I'm nearly done. So yeah, certain languages is the language of the cherubim. Yeah, Enki was teaching us these words of power against the witches of the Enlil and his Anunnaki who was in control. And so they dumbed us down and took away that language from us in the Tower of Babel incident and brought down Babel and all these Babel languages that has rendered the truth about God into all this religious dispute. Oh, we say this, we say that, he says this, she says that, she's like, you're wrong, I'm right. It's just Babel. You understand? If given to the uninitiated, both the giver and the receiver are abandoned by the power of the sacred sounds. So them sacred sounds, like I said, if you give that to somebody who you're not meant to, that shit's going to affect you too, just like it's going to affect them, whether it abandons you or whether it harms you. The Lord and Lady Christ put in there that, yo, it just abandons people, so it doesn't cause harm. But sometimes it might cause harm to people. So this is what I mean. If you ever hear me in my rap songs or my own personal books, because I haven't released them yet, most of my books are about knowledge and stuff, but I do have books that are more like an autobiography about my life and stuff, and books I consider all my music a book. So just like you see me write books and you Treasures in the Sun and whatever, my albums are books. So if you was to listen to one of my albums or my mixtapes, that'll come like you was reading one of my books. It's probably even more powerful in different regards than the book is. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's on the medium of music. So yeah, you'll hear me saying that in my songs as Ragnar Memnon, saying that I go by the tale of the Dragunslayer, and I do have a book called The Tale of the Dragunslayer with 9 chapters in it that speak about this kind of ish. Yeah, but we'll get there. That's what I wanted to share with you guys about walking the path. It's not just about scrolling, liking, watching, consuming stuff. It's about doing your part, like we said the last time, doing your part to help others like myself, but also doing your part to help you on your path to realizing these fruits of the tree of life and having full body enlightenment, so we can confidently step forward into our future, create our own narrative with all confidence, yeah, unapologetically, without having to have permission from the Muzungu or Islam or Christianity or none of that. Like, I'm trying to give my circle the scroll of eyes. So if all of us can have this scroll of eyes, we're going to be a powerful community, whether it's an online community, Telegram community in real life, it doesn't matter. We'll be more we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, and only a fool would argue with the jewels that I've been giving you here. It's not a religion. I'm not telling you to believe nothing. You can try that out for yourself, have a practice run, and see the benefits that that does for you in making you a more consistent, a more efficient person in throughout all stratifications of your life, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, in your work, in your achieving your goals or setting boundaries. Yo, the whole of it is medicine. Yeah, well, like we know right now, ignorance gets the biggest audience. So this type of live is not gonna get no type of reaction. People want to hear about Hollywood. People want to hear about celebrities. People want to hear about all that spectacular stuff. People want to hear about clones. People want to hear about, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's into this like sensationalism. Me, Jadefre, when I'm off camera, I'm trying to like be in this. Like I've been planning this live for you guys for about 3 hours. Like I'm going live today. I'm gonna share some of this because I've been studying today. I've been like, yo, let me put my phone aside and let me down into some study. And I'm reading comments on my videos and that, and y'all give me inspiration. Shout out to Mahogany X for that beautiful, I don't know how long that took you to type that out, but I appreciate that comment. And everybody else, you understand, Brooklyn NYC, yeah, Talisha, Fisher J Bars, everybody, Empress Lotus, 888, some of you I don't remember your name, yeah, but I appreciate all of you guys. And we need to do this together, and we need to be more interactive with each other. Let me see if anything on here needs me to address it. Shout out to everyone who joined in on this beautiful late day. Yeah, we're gonna get it, Mahogany X. We have to. Like, we don't have a choice. Like, because failure ain't an option no more. Well, it never was. Yeah, you have to choose to be happy without any reason. You're happy for life. You understand? You're high off life. You're happy for life. Yeah. So even with me, for you Instagram people, sometimes you see me posting about relationships and that, and if you don't know me, you might think, bastard, this guy's heartbroken. I'm not heartbroken, man. You get me? Sometimes I'm just dramatic. I like it. You get me, that? So, but yeah, we can't allow external forces, people, job, money, work, whatever. We can't allow that to dictate our happiness. Or otherwise, our happiness is in everyone else's power but ours. It's in everybody else. It's like if someone goes on the road and says, "Oi, did that where you fucking dickhead?" I have to choose to respond to that. You understand what I'm saying? I have to. I can just choose to hold on. That ain't for me. That can just go over my head. Yeah. Some people might say, "Oh, that's cowardly." Nah, nigga, that's protection. Like your name has a hold over you. That tone, your name. So if someone says your name, you turn around, right? Oi, Jadefre, you're gonna turn around. Yo, it's a power over you. So you have to take back some of that power too. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's the same with happiness. You have to choose to be happy. You can't leave your happiness with your partner. Oh, you don't make me happy. Your partner's job is not to make you happy. Your partner's job is to share her happiness with you. And you share your happiness with her. And now you got a whole bag of happiness. Y'all can't never be frigging arguing, man. Come on. But if you're trying to find happiness in somebody else and you're not happy with yourself, or you're trying to find happiness in this car, or this job, or this house, £100,000, yo, that's why most of the unhappiest people are rich people. They're some of the most unhappy people. Some of the most happiest people is poor people. I've seen it for myself in the Caribbean. I've seen poor people so happy it left me questioning life. I'm from England. I never seen that shit. I've been around these people. I had to tell myself, yo, these are the most beautiful people I've ever been around, and they ain't got shit. And it made me see that bastard, the people with everything, they're horrible. Like, I had people in my family, millionaires and shit. They were horrible individuals. I'm like, hold on, this guy's an ogre. Yeah? And I'm around normal people in my village that you could look through their house. Their house has got a hole in the wall. You can look through it. Yeah? And they're the happiest people on God's planet. And when the hurricane comes, all these rich houses are blown down. This same house that I could look through with the hole in the wall is still standing. The nigga's still cooking his food outside there like no hurricane never came. So that stuff teach me a difference. Growing up in the Caribbean made me see things different. When I came back to England, I weren't English no more. The Caribbean took, that 7 years just rinsed it out of me. Yeah? So if you hear Ragnar say I'm seasoned by the sun, I'm not homegrown. That's what it means. Yeah? I ain't from here. I'm not homegrown weed. Yeah? I'm grown somewhere else. I'm seasoned by the sun. Yeah? So yeah, you have to choose to be happy yourself. Don't leave that with nobody else to, they are the ones who's supposed to be responsible for your happiness. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is not a destination, it's an inner thing. Like we said, what's the word again? Simcha. Yeah, Simchah. Simcha, which means joy, that bliss. We looking for that bliss from the tree of life, that we could share that with everyone, not just your spouse. You share it with your children, you share it with your parents, you share it with your neighbors. You walk with the kingdom of God, man, that tree of life moving with you. So I really hope that this live hit something in you like it hit something in me when I was reading from the Nazarene Bible. I was like, yo, this is hitting me differently. I need to share this with the soul fam. And as I said, if you've got Instagram, hit me up, King Ragnar Memnon, yeah? Because there's a live on there that is the part of this, and it's, if you enjoyed this live, you will definitely appreciate that one, because it will give you certain things that are probably never explained in here, because we already explained it. So here it would have been explained in a kind of compressed form, but there, if you go back to the first video, it will expand certain things for you. You might get a better understanding. I know a lot of you don't like social media and shit like that, but the reason I did it is because YouTube restricted us, and I couldn't do it on YouTube. I had to get that out. Do you see what I'm saying? But from time to time, that's what I would do. I would navigate between Nazarene doctrine and Cushite doctrine, so I won't always be talking from an Egyptian perspective. Sometimes I'll be talking from my other side, which is, that's how I see myself. I see myself as both. So sometimes I'll be speaking from the Nazarene biblical sense rather than from the Cometian doctrine. A certain time I'll be speaking from both and showing you how they tie together, like we do in the Golden Child. But anyway, guys, with that being said, that's the end of the transmission. I really hope the day's been golden, like today's been golden for me. This is banging me on my pineal gland. I'm going to sit right here until it's gone and make it just whack me in the pineal gland. I appreciate that it did this while I was doing the live with you all. I'm seeing a whole kaleidoscope of different colors and stuff. So I'm going to sun gaze. Like, shout out to Steph. You've been advising me to do this for so long. I keep forgetting. Now's my perfect chance. If you got the chance, do it. Sun gaze at the sun. Make that kundalini energy come up to your pineal gland and release through you down and feel it moving. Move it down to your fingertips. Move it down this fingertips, move it down your legs, move it up, move it down the back of your head. See it, move it into your third eye, swirl it around your third eye to pry this open more. You understand? Clean off your aura, man. Make that bust out through your head, man. Keep Anu and Antum in your heart, yeah? Because a lot of people have the Most High on their tongue. It's not in their heart, yeah? When the camera's off, they don't give a shit, mate. Yeah, it's all for the cameras. Yeah, I love all of you guys, yeah? Namaste. Peace.